What is going on, team? Welcome to today's news. You're probably wondering where the Rogue vlog is, where the Body Power vlogs are, where the vlogs with Christy Aramo. We went and surprised Drew Wayman. They're all coming. Jazz and I have just got back from an overnight flight, 19 hours of travel. You need the creative vibes to be able to do that. I didn't want to do that on the plane. But anyway, here's an actual representation of how I feel right now. But anyway, today I thought I'd make a video because there's been a lot of news within the CrossFit realm and the CrossFit world, and everything's going crazy. Thanos is taking over and the Avengers don't know what's going on. But before we get into that, I just wanted to do like a section that's called like, wow, I'm gonna feel weak after this. This first clip is a 12-year-old boy back squatting 110 kilos. And this second clip is an 89-year-old called Joe Stockinger deadlifting 405 for reps. You know when you talk about old man strength, this is legit old man strength. And this right here is the easiest 250 kilo clean and jerk I've ever seen in my life. That weight should never look easy. Here are a couple of random videos. This one perfectly sums up Jasmine and it also perfectly sums up me. I'm the person on the left, Jasmine is the person in the middle. Which one are you? You're also probably looking at your partner right now if you're watching this vlog with your partner going, I know exactly which one you were. Here's something in this vlog to make you go, ah. This clip is probably going to blow your mind. Amazon have started now delivering, or they are going to start delivering some of their parcels via drones, but their drones come out of a big blimp. It looks like something out of the future. And if you want a good watch, just type in throwing cheese at pets. Some of the reactions are priceless.
Stay.
And did you know Dan Bailey can sing and play the guitar? Unbelievable.
Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stay by.
But anyway, talking more specifically about CrossFit, over the last couple of days, as you've probably seen and as you've probably heard, CrossFit and the CrossFit Games have deleted both their accounts on Instagram and on Facebook. If you're coming here for the answer, I do not know why this has happened, but actually speaking to someone from CrossFit, we will get a statement from Greg Glassman either today, Thursday, or tomorrow, Friday, regarding what the hell is going on. However, if you do look closely, the Twitter is still up and running, and also the website. So CrossFit hasn't disappeared, it's just disappeared off 2 platforms. If you combine the total following over those 2 platforms and those 4 accounts, it had over 10 million followers just overnight. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail about this, but there could be many reasons as to why this has happened. We're going to find out tomorrow anyway. But there was a post put up which gave a few ideas. The first idea is decentralization, shifting activity to national accounts. We have seen CrossFit UK pop up and a few other CrossFits around the world. So maybe they're just looking at smaller accounts that are run by different people and not just CrossFit. That takes us on to kind of point 2, cost cutting. Then they don't really have to focus on necessarily the content that they create to put out on Instagram, although they did usually just repost what events were going on at the time, or just cool pictures of people doing CrossFit. So I don't think it took that much time. The third point that they brought up was the change of focus away from social media. Now, I think this is the biggest load of BS that I've ever seen in my whole entire life. You have 10 million people that you've built up over the years of doing CrossFit and promoting CrossFit and putting content out there that inspires hundreds of thousands of people to open up affiliates, to go to their local CrossFit box, to follow their favorite athletes, to check on what people are doing, and you just shut that down. Personally, I believe that this world at the moment is becoming more and more and more digital. Social media being the driving force for a hell of a lot of brands, including people like myself and Hustle Made. And so for you to shut down 10 million active followers overnight because you want to change your policy, that's going to have a big impact on the business. I mean, I think so. I mean, if we shut down the Team Richie page, not going to happen, and we shut down the Hustle page and stuff, you know, like, where are people going to go? The fourth reason could be that there is a major structural change going to happen. We've seen a lot of changes over the last 6 months. We're probably going to see a hell of a lot more. We could see a company buyout or a media buyout. I have heard rumors that after the Rogue Invitational that we've just had, which was incredible, it was pretty much a mini games, Rogue are interested in buying the games. It's a rumor, it's what I've heard, I'm not sure if it's true. But we're just gonna have to wait and speculate and to see what comes out tomorrow and what Greg Glassman says or what official CrossFit say on the Twitter. or the website, not Facebook or Instagram. You see what I did there? When you actually look at this from an outside perspective, this is going to affect so many different people if they do not bring it back online. One, the photographers that maybe get reposted on CrossFit and that they grow their brand that way. They show off the athletes and their work to millions of people. The games athletes themselves, especially some of the aspiring games athletes, the people that are trying to grow their profile, if they can get reposts from CrossFit or get mentioned on CrossFit, it's a big boost for them. And as this kind of world is evolving into you have to be a full-time athlete if you do want to make it to the CrossFit Games, money comes into that, your social presence comes into that, and ultimately that can bring in sponsors and things like that, so it can have a knock-on impact. And if they do bring out like many different sanctioned event pages like they have, we as CrossFitters will probably end up following them all, but it was always nice just to go to the CrossFit Games page and kind of just find out the top results there and then. Also, there was a poll on Instagram as to who actually uses Twitter and who doesn't. This was the outcome. So if they are moving over to more of a Twitter style of news, Trump style, just saying it, then they are missing out on the younger audience, the people that are more in tune with Instagram and Facebook. More Instagram than Facebook, I think. Instagram is so easy just to flick through and just to like see what's going on there and then. Easy. Crazy how they deleted it. But at the end of the day, we're still CrossFitters, we're still going to do CrossFit, and we're still going to look like this after every session. And then the second piece of news that I wanted to cover today, which is again focusing around CrossFit and their decision making, is apparently Hunter McIntyre, who is an OCR athlete, has been given a wild card to the CrossFit Games to actually come and be able to compete. I haven't seen a press release or anything about this, but if you go over to Arm & Hammer TV's YouTube, you guys can tell I've not been really keeping up whilst being away. It's been nuts. Everything's been going mental. But if you go over to his YouTube, there is an interview with him versus Brent Fikowski, and I'm on kind of the Brent Fikowski side, but it is an interesting argument. If you don't know, Hunter McIntyre over kind of this last year has just built up a social presence and kind of made it known that he wants to go to the games and that he thinks he can beat a lot of the CrossFit Games athletes. Fair enough. That's pretty cool. He got some pretty decent scores in the Open. He's a good athlete. He's a super fit dude. And as we know, the Open is usually a little bit more low skill. So if you do have a good aerobic base and you have a decent amount of strength, you're going to do pretty well. In this situation, some people are blaming Hunter. Other people are blaming the CrossFit Games. Honestly, it's more the fault of the CrossFit Games and Greg Glassman for giving out. It's not Hunter's fault really for accepting it. Although if I was in his shoes and say you guys got behind me and were like, we really want Craig to go to the games and stand up next to these athletes, I would turn down the invite because I don't feel like I deserve it. Whereas if you look at people like Drew Wayman, who finished one spot out of Wodapalooza from qualifying for this year's CrossFit Games and finished one spot out at Strength in Depth for qualifying for the CrossFit Games, he's a person and a perfect candidate that I would say deserves a wild card because he's kind of proved his fitness against the best in the world. Hunter McIntyre, on the other hand, has kind of just built a campaign and done a Conor McGregor style, where you just talk and then people go on then, give it a go. The only thing that I would say to this is like, why would you give him a ticket to the CrossFit Games? Why don't you just make him try and qualify for a sanctioned event and prove his fitness against people there at a sanctioned event? But that will be a big enough test for him to see if he can make it to the CrossFit Games. And if he does prove himself at these sanctioned events, then, and he qualifies, takes first, you go to the CrossFit Games. Also, there was another argument that he finished a lot higher in the Open than a lot of national champions. I fully understand that. I can take that on board, but also they are the national champions. They're the people that won their country. That is their legitimate reason to go. With the national champions, if you win a sanctioned event or if you're in the top 20, that's in the rules. You go to the CrossFit Games, you've earned it. Wildcards, when you look at the kind of the grey area between it, and it comes down a lot to opinion and possibly presence, it's always gonna kind of give two sides to an argument. And what do you think? One, what do you think of CrossFit for actually giving him the invite in the first place? And two, do you think he should actually accept it? I want you guys to discuss that down below. I always want to just see what's going on in the CrossFit world. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. It's kind of been a random one, but there's been a lot going on and there's a lot of discussions. I'm going to get involved in the discussions down below, so don't hold back and let's have some fun. We'll talk to you guys in the next one.